Okay, so hi everyone. So to continue the discussion, I'll be reporting the foundation of popular culture. Okay, so popular culture is a result of urbanization, industrialization, and the rise of mass media, which allows for the widespread distribution of ideas, goods, and entertainment to large diverse audience. So as we grow in population, the demand of every person also grow. And with the rise of some innovations of some people or random people in the industry, for like the technical or something like that industry, so mass media was brought to life, which becomes the main tool in order for us to spread some, for example, news online. And also, like how we sell our goods, how we entertain a large group of people, for example, the television, YouTube, or TikTok. This could also be considered as part of mass media. So, it entertains to a large or diverse audience since not only one country can access that, all around the globe can. Okay, so industrialization and urbanization. So the shift from rural to urban. So as we all know, rural is some more of like the province, and urban are like the city, like where we are right now. We are living in a city, though some of us still go visit their rural places or their rural homes. So shift from rural to urban life during the industrial revolution led to large population living in cities. So with this, creating a common ground for shared experiences and a new market for entertainment. So as as time goes by, new innovation, new technology has been evolved and has been created. So some of the people, not really all, but some of the people from the rural part of a place tend to transfer to the urban place or the city in order to learn and to acquire those knowledge or whatsoever related to, I mean, with relation to the to technology, since industrial during the industrial revolution, if I'm not mistaken, there were already a lot of innovations like machinery and many more. So they transferred to cities, hoping to live an easier life compared to rural, since in rural there are no there are not enough things, I mean, and it's kind of like they though they have a good life, but it's that not the same level as the urban has like on top in when it comes to livelihood. Okay, next is commercialization and capitalism. So, an economic system that emphasizes profit encourages the mass production and marketing of cultural goods for consumption, turning entertainment into a major industry. So, with this, commercialization and capitalism, with this, the way we sell, the way we market our goods, our own goods, to other places. So, for example, with the use of the technology that we have right now, or yeah, with the technology, let's say with the technology. So, some of the people right now are fond of online selling. So that's also an example of commercialization and capitalism, wherein they endorse or they market their goods online. With that, anyone or everyone can see and will have the chance to buy their product. Okay, so yeah, just like on TikTok, the yellow basket thing, the online selling like that, and consumption and turning into entertainment into a major industry. So yeah, entertainment, the technology. Yes, okay, next, shared experiences and identity. So popular culture provides a common set of experiences, tastes, and beliefs that help large group of people identify with each other and form collective identities. So with this shared experience, so they tend to experience what other person experiences. So for example, the first topic that we had were in some people from the rural part transfer to the urban, which is the city, in order to learn. For example, in order how to learn on operating a machine since it's already in the industrial evolution. So wanted to learn how to operate a machine. So with that, they tend to have a like experience. So they tend to experience also what other person experience. So they then have a shared experience. Okay. And yeah, tastes and beliefs that help large group of people identify with each other and form collective identities. So once a person tend to learn something, which, for example, I'm new to a certain group. For example, I'll transfer to a different place. So I'm not that really familiar of their language, of their culture, beliefs, something like that. So once I've immersed myself into something or into them, so I learn everything I need to learn for me to blend in so that we will have the shared experience and identity. So I will be part or I will then be part of their group. Something like that. Okay, so collective identities as a group. Next, we have here globalization and cultural exchange. So the flow of ideas, products, and people across borders, often due to historical processes like colonization, leads to the blending of different cultural influences, creating new form of popular culture. So, for example of this is when the Spaniards, the Japanese, the American colonized the Philippines. Okay. So, yeah, the flow of ideas, products, and people across borders. So, those people from other countries or from other places came here and for example came here in the Philippines to colonize us. So with the colonization part, so they tend to teach us some things like the Christianity from the Spaniards. So we learned Christianity or yeah, we got Christianity from the Spaniards, right? So yeah, so historical processes and then leads to the blending of different cultural influences. So because of them, because of their colonization, we are now devoted to some patron saints. We are like devoted Christians, though there are some religion also which we also need to respect since they also respect us. So just a give and take relationship to everyone, right? And so creating new form of popular culture. So the blending combination. So us pure Filipinos being blended with the cultures from America. Like for example, for this generation. So the way the Americans dress, isn't it? We can see it everywhere. We can see it through online and etc. So us Filipinos, we tend to adapt onto their practice or what they currently have. It may be their culture or whatnot. And yeah, we tend to adapt. And next is accessibility and trivialization. Trivialization. So the creation of mass-produced versions of previously exclusive high culture made cultural artifacts accessible to a broader audience, a process sometimes described as blending low and high culture. Example of this is museum, right? So in the museum, that's the place where we can find all kinds of artifacts from the ancient time. It may be from BC, AC, like before Christ era, after Christ, and so high culture made cultural artifacts accessible to a broader audience, a process sometimes described as blending low and high culture. So with this, so made cultural artifacts accessible to a broader audience. So to everyone. For example of this is a museum. It's just that museum is found, like for example, a certain museum is found in this place. So not everyone, like all of the people, can visit since they're far or they're from another country. But so for those who are near, they can visit those museum in order to see or to visit whatever artifacts or ancient things found in that place. And in order for other person to also able to see what's inside that specific facility, the museum, so there is also online. We can also check it online. Like for example, I wanted to visit certain place outside the Philippines due to, I forgot the name of the museum, but for example, in US there's a certain museum in US that I want to visit. But since I cannot, so what I can do is visit online. So online, everyone, all ages, like different nationality, whatever culture you have or whoever you are, you can access and see what are those high culture or those artifacts found in that certain place. And so a process sometimes described as blending low and high culture. So may it be a culture for low and high culture. The difference is for low culture, those are like cultures that are something not that usually seen, I guess. And for high culture, those are the cultures that are still being instilled to us. Yeah. So next we have here formation. Formation, its modern form is strongly linked to the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th century. So this might be found in the next slide. Let us check. Okay, pre-industrial era or before 18th century. So, folk culture versus official culture. So before the 18th century, folk culture, these are like oldies or cultures that are, we cannot say ancient, but it's kind of like old. Okay. And so before the 18th century, culture was largely divided between folk tradition passed down orally from indigenous group or local communities and the official culture of the educated upper classes. So, as per mentioned, so folk culture, these were passed verbally from generations to generation, personally thought by an elderly to the generation next to her. For example, my grandma taught me a certain practice which as of this time I'm still doing. So in order for that to be preserved, I need to teach it or pass it to the next generation. Like for my children perhaps and others. So official cultures are those for the upper classes. So yeah, as even for today, we're still divided as visible in the society. So we have this lower class and upper class. So as we mentioned, so we consider official culture as for those high class people and the folk culture as for us or for the least or low in status, I can say. So for official culture, educated upper classes, they have different practices. For example, their grandfather owns a certain company. So in order for that to continue running and foster, to whatever practices he did in order to build that company and stay standing, so he passed it to his son, and his son passed it to the grandson. So that's kind of like almost the same with the folk tradition where it's passed down, but it's a different, it's quite different. Okay, so colonial imposition. So in places like the Philippines, colonial powers used early forms of popular culture such as plays and religious texts to spread their ideologies and promote Christianity among the native population. So we have these spiritual books or spiritual texts, the Bible. Some with regards to plays, those were like the lives of saints that we can search online. The lives that were written by, yeah, so the biography of a religious person for perhaps. So yeah, such as plays and religious texts spread their ideology and promote Christianity. For example of this is back in our high school. So since I'm under a Catholic school, so aside from those religious texts that we do have Bibles, and we do have this book which has the lives of the saints, different saints from different countries. So aside from that book, there is also a play or like a role play. Not really a role play, it's kind of like a movie, not really a movie, but there are some that they made it as a movie in order to showcase the the greatness of that certain saint, the qualities, why he or she become a saint, or why he or she is deserving to be called a saint. Just like the most recent or the youngest saint that we have, wherein he used the technology to spread the words of God, the Eucharist. I forgot the name, but it's a male or a boy. Okay, next. Okay, so we have your 18th and 19th century, which is the dawn of modern pop culture. First, we have the Industrial Revolution. So this era in Britain led to greater social change increased literacy rates, and the development of capitalism, creating a large market for mass produced goods and entertainment. So, with regards to this, modern pop culture. So, yeah, this is still based on our culture and industrial revolution. As we all know, this is the time or this is the era where all types of machine were already made. Not really completely made, but so that's the time it started. Like for the factories, right? So it started on that era. And with this, so yeah, increase in literacy rates. We tend to learn more words, yeah, like something like new to us. And those who are led to greater social change. So it's like the status, social like status. So before we are at the lowest, and because of the industrial revolution we become at the middle, something like that. Okay, it's because of what we have during that era, the industrial revolution and the development of capitalism. So with this, capitalism increased in creating a larger market for mass produced goods and entertainment. So creating a large market, not really that physical market that we have right now, but if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of like related to technology. Yes, this could be related to technology. So whatever we have as a physical culture that we have, it's being reinforced also in the technology in order for this to be widely spread among the other places, in order for them also to be knowledgeable, for them to know. Okay, and for with regards to mass produced goods, so for example, here in the Philippines, so as part of our culture since before, we are fond of, like, shall we say, farming. Okay, let's put it that way. Farming. So we plant and harvest different kinds of vegetables, fruits, and other root crops that we have. And with that, so yeah, we do sell them in the markets, and for the larger market for mass produced goods, so we not only sell them in markets, this could also be found anywhere. Like we can search it online, not only see it in person. Yeah, you can search it online. And with regards to the entertainment, so mass produced goods and entertainment. Entertainment in relation to the technology that we have right now. So with regards to the entertainment industry, so everything we have we're already found online. Like you can see it on the television, on YouTube, or any online platforms that started or that has been created on the Industrial Revolution era, or on the 18th or within 18th and 19th century, since everything started in that time. Okay, or technology, shall we say, started, or I'm not sure if it really started there, I forgot, but in that era there was already a technology. Okay, so mass produced media. The 1830s saw the emergence of mass produced literacy, such as penny serials or penny dreadfuls, which were Britain's first taste of mass market popular culture. Okay, with regards to this, so penny serials or penny dreadful, it's kind of like a story. So based on my research, so penny serial can refer to a serial number for a Henry Penny appliance. So the serial number for the TV series Penny Dreadful, or the character Penny from The Big Bang Theory. That's based on the research that I had with regards to Penny serial or Penny Dreadful. So with this, it's kind of like a TV show. Yeah, a storyline which has been shown on the TV. So this is related to the mass produced literature, a story that has been published through the television or has been printed. So with this, mass produced literature, these are those refers to books or some pamphlets or any written materials produced in large quantities, often with the aid or help of the technology. Yeah, same as what I mentioned, the TVs, or shall we say printing press can also be associated with this, since it's also a technology that can be used to spread these literatures. Okay, next. Okay, next is commercialized entertainment. So, with more leisure time and money, people began spending on new forms of entertainment, including commercialized public houses and organized sports. Commercialized public houses, just like theater. Yeah, that could be considered as commercialized public houses, wherein the like whoever wants to watch tends to spend money in order to entertain themselves. So for their leisure time, like they have nothing to do, so they plan to go on a theater, so they buy some tickets with their own money, of course, and so they watch, like, shall we say, a play or theatrical play or some musical plays, some orchestra, or organized sports. For example, basketball league, football, or any other sorts of entertainment or commercialized entertainment. Okay, so after that, we have here the 20th century. So the rise of mass media and global culture. So in this early 20th century, within 90s until 1940s, so the development of new media like film, radio, and automobiles helped spread popular culture across wider geographical areas, particularly in countries like the United States, where the 1920s saw the rise of jazz, movies, and the new fashions. Okay, so with this time, this is a time where we were starting using the radios as a form, not a form of communication, but as a form of like a source of something, source of information, right? So film, we tend to get entertained watching films on the small televisions that we have before, right? Those TVs that has a big back, like a box at the back. So those were the TVs before, or those that has like something that you need to turn on at the front part. Like you need to turn something to change the channel, the volume, and etc. And so also automobiles. So yeah, we already have automobiles on these centuries. Of course, it's actually started on the 18th, but this time it has been like it has been reinforced. So automobiles help spread popular culture across wider geographical areas. So we tend to travel anywhere with the use of the automobile that we have. So while traveling, so for example, so let's put an example with regards to those artists that we have in this era. So with those they use automobile to travel, right? So they travel, for example, from Davao to Cebu in order to entertain the people here in Cebu. Something like that. So spread popular culture across wider geographical areas. Yeah, that's correct. So in the United States, where the 1920s saw the rise of jazz, movies, and new fashion. So that's the time we have witnessed, or yeah, we've witnessed some movies or films, yeah, in this era. And so fashions, different kind of fashions, like it may be on, usually on dresses or whatever we wear every day, serves as like a fashion we have, like a fashion trend. So whatever a person does or whatever a group of people wears, and it like boomed onto that area, so others tend to copy, like, oh, I want to try, I want to look like them, so they tend to copy whatever they saw, and that's kind of like spreading culture already. Yes. So next is post World War II. After World War II, so the post World War era witnessed the consolidation of a distinct popular culture identity, especially in the Philippines, with a greater emphasis on local forms of music, film, and fashion, alongside global influences. So with this, yeah, after World War II, so we then incorporated those things from, let's say, United States or from others. Since, if I'm not mistaken, after World War II, we've been colonized by the Spaniards or American. I guess it's American. I actually forgot. I'm so sorry. So probably Americans. So we've been colonized. So whatever cultures they have has been passed to us. Okay. So alongside with the global influences. So yeah, whatever global influences, like whatever we see from the others, the other country. So whatever is trending on their end, so once it has been showcased on a movie or on a film or on a fashion show, so it became a fashion trend. Then those who have seen it will tend to copy or follow what they have seen online. And so globalization. The latter half of the century saw increased globalization of culture, symbolized by concepts like the global village, as telecommunications and mass media connected different cultures more directly. Okay, with regards to global village, since it was mentioned, so global village, for a simple meaning, is the world that has been seen as a community in which people are connected by computers, television, etc., and all dependent on one another, just like us now. So we are kind of like dependent to the technology, since, I mean, especially in the pandemic time, we tend to be dependent on our technology as a source of update, source of information, and since we cannot go outside to buy some stuff, so this is where online selling boomed. So those sellers, they rely on the technology in order to maintain their income. And us who needs something, So in order to suffice our needs, like for example, food or any kinds of stuff, so we go visit online in order to buy something, right? So yeah, so for example, the global village concept includes the internet and social media, of course, which connects people worldwide. So not only a certain country has technology, not for example, not only Philippines, so also the other countries, of course. So with this, we can communicate and converse with them, even though they are at the other end of the world, right? So wherever they are, they may be in America, UK, Europe. So we can still communicate with them through the social media with the use of the internet. We have the Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other else. So that's it for the globalization. So we have here next 21st century, the digital age. So this is where we've been like more dependent with the technology. Like everything we do involves technology. So internet and streaming services, as what I mentioned. So the internet revolutionized how popular music and culture are consumed and produced. So music streaming services provides unprecedented access to vast libraries of music, and social media facilitated the sharing of content. So like for example, those that we like, for example, the Spotify. So we can share whatever we have heard on Spotify, we can share it to others. Or like the live streaming, so we can share it to others in order for them to also know what we are currently interested in. And with regards to music streaming services, we have here YouTube. And so yeah, before, in order for us to create music, we use the instruments. Though today we still use instruments, but in order for this to spread onto other places, we use technologies that we have to enhance the tone or to adjust something, and then we post it online so everyone can see, or everyone can watch, everyone can listen to. So next is blurred lines. Blurred lines. The internet and digital media have blurred the lines between traditional high culture and low-brow popular culture, making it more socially acceptable and widely consumed. Okay, so with regards to this high culture, or like shall we say highbrow culture and the lowbrow culture. So as for my research, so highbrow and lowbrow cultures are two distinct categories of art, entertainment, and taste. So this is some kind of like a boundary. So blurred line is some kind of like a boundary between highbrow and lowbrow. Highbrow, it encompasses, or what includes or under this, shall we say, are those elite, intellectual, and sophisticated pursuits like classical musics, something that not everyone can afford. So classical musics, opera, not everyone can attend an opera concert or a theater show, right? So opera. And lowbrows are referring to like something that everyone can access. So even the higher status person or people can actually access this. But for those lower class people, they cannot access the highbrow. Only the highbrow. So for lowbrow, examples of this are the mainstreaming, or and often more accessible from like comic books, reality TV shows, or pop music. So pop music, everyone can hear it. But in the opera, not everyone can access it unless someone post it online or make a live stream about it and post it online so others can also see, since not every one of us are privileged to have access to these kind of things, right? So yeah, so that's for the blurred lines. And yes, I guess that's all for our discussion. So this will be the end of our discussion, by the way. And yeah, so we're the third presenter. So that will be all for our presentation. I hope you have learned something or have taken notes of everything that has been discussed in order for us to be more aware and be knowledgeable of the cultures we have from the past up until the present times. Okay, so thank you for listening, everyone, and bye for now.